Welcome back to the 2023 OTB Open presented by MVP Disc Sports. This is Gatekeeper Media's coverage of the final round back nine chase card. And I'm Andrew Fish, joined here by Nathan Queen.
Yeah, and we got to see one clean front nine on our card. Some other players had some struggles though, a couple bogeys, a double bogey mixed in there. And we haven't reached the hardest holes yet. They saved those for the last 3 holes of the tournament. Gonna be interesting to see what happens here on the back nine.
Yeah, no doubt. Pack a sack lunch because the front nine was really long, the back nine is really tough. And even if you're not in contention for the win, a lot at stake here. Season-long points for Disc Golf Pro Tour, potentially all-stars as you get towards next year. Nathan, this entire season is a big deal, right?
Absolutely. They've lengthened it and made things more important along the way. Very fun to watch.
And on hole 10, an initial water carry, 435 feet. The basket perch no more than a couple meters away from the edge of the water, and no drop zone. So I imagine with this tailwind, we're going to see flex shots or something flippy, trying to get to about circle's edge right, and then just trust that you can make the putt. Rathbun, this is tracking towards the left again. Yeah. Too much finish on the shot.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been high enough it was going to get caught up in those branches, but ends up finishing out over on the left. Going to have a circle one putt for par.
Heimburg, this is trouble immediately, and goes out early enough that he'll probably be in circle 2 at best.
Yeah, that's going to be a difficult one to really commit to running. From back where he's at. Going to be going towards that OB again, and as you see, that wind's still a little bit higher than it's been in previous days, which has caused Isaac to really drag his over to the right. Disc does have some stability and comes back, but still going to be a layup from there.
There was some left to right mixed in with the tailwind. As soon as you exposed the flight plate, it was going to pull your disc a long way right. Looks like Cody Kirkland's going to go mid-range.
Yeah, trying to use that tailwind to get some distance, and he does get some distance, but like Isaac, ends up over off to the right side a bit. Just trying to put it inside 10 feet here.
And on the base, that's the way to do it. No further thought required.
Wow, for a layup shot, Isaac really made that one a bit scary, I think. But is able to get it up and down. Gonna tap in his par. As Calvin getting up and down for his bogey.
Gavin Rathbun with the par save. He made, in my opinion, the correct mistake if you're willing to test the water. You throw something really overstable so that you get all your distance and then go out. Versus Calvin with a little straighter fairway driver. Playing a little too cute.
You see Gavin waving down the volunteer over there, trying to get him to get his disc out of the water for him, because he might want to throw it here on hole 11, 834-foot par 4. Ideally, like to carry this water and then move left so you can go for a big shot over the water. Or with the wind today, it's probably going to make that pretty difficult. Might see some more players try to get underneath this low branch to try to attack this pin.
I think with the tailwind left to right, putting the disc up to the heavens as Gavin Rathbun is doing and biting off as much as you can to shorten the second is the goal. And that's pushing 600.
Yeah, that was I was about to say you want to land there in the drone flight, but I realized how far away from the tee it was. But Gavin is going to go ahead and do that anyway.
And this is trouble for Isaac Robinson.
There it goes.
And you hear him say, "There it goes." That's probably both the disc and his chances at the win, as he will go to a drop zone well back on the fairway.
Yeah, the drop zone is not an opportunity to save par.
And Nathan, look at the ambition in Cody Kirkland's line here.
Yeah, puts it up very high on a roller line. Oh my goodness. He's carrying it over there to the right. Far enough that he is gonna have that hyzer. He's to the right of that tree that usually blocks those.
Yeah, found the land between the lakes. Heimburg, a little more conventional for the distance line, kind of following Gavin. Very much following Gavin.
Yeah, almost taps him on the way by.
And here we see a little different look. This is the FPOT pad serving as our drop zone. I heard that over $25,000 of materials as well as hundreds of man hours were committed to 32 different tee pads among our 18 holes. Just excellent work by the entire OTB crew.
Yeah, great. Big shout out to those guys. Always appreciate all the hard work done. Gavin Rathbun did try that big shot out over the water, but the wind has held him up. He's going to be OB and going to have to go way back. Calvin Heimburg, though, taking some advice off of what he saw from Gavin, going to go for that low shot under the trees and do so well. Is going to have a birdie chance.
The rowdy crowd on Party Peninsula cheering for Cody Kirkland, who actually runs into circle 2, unable to slow his arm down enough. And Rathbun's fourth. Good recovery.
Yeah, not the bogey you want to take when you had a great drive, but on this final day, sometimes you just have to be aggressive.
Yeah, from a more zen perspective, you're going to get the score you're going to get, and you're going to throw the shots you're going to throw. You just have to be willing to accept bad outcomes with your aggression.
And a great putt there after a kind of a lackluster fourth. Isaac Robinson able to casually connect from about 44 feet there. Limit the damage to just a single bogey, which is the best you can do from that drop zone.
Good spin by Cody Kirkland, maybe finding that putter from circle 1. And from a horse race perspective, I think Isaac kind of keeps his chances alive. They're a little slimmer now, but they're alive.
Yeah, you can never count yourself out of it. That's when you are out. So he's got to kind of reset, try to get some birdies here, keep making that push.
And as you noted, 16, 17, 18, the 3 hardest holes on the course. Nobody's round is over until they've tapped in on 18. Hole 12, 328 feet, a true island hole. I mean, just a gorgeous hole. Would fit on any course in the universe.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like no matter where you go, no matter how hard or how long of a course you're playing, there's got to be a 330-foot island hole. Oh!
Heimburg chain high. Definitely playing into a headwind here. So ensure you get the distance and then have a stable finish. I like the width from Cody Kirkland, kind of aiming at the right side of the green and then letting the stability finish.
Yeah, air traffic control over to the left. And I do like that line as well with this headwind. Kind of have that slight nose up so you can push it forward as much as you need to and then let the headwind lift it and slow it down for it to fade off to the left.
Just like that. The trouble spot we've seen backhand players get into is starting their hyzer at the basket. And this seems like it's, yep, coming up a little short. That sends Isaac Robinson to the drop zone.
And he's let that mistake on the last hole compound a little bit. Gonna go back-to-back bogeys. Uh-oh. Oh, that is brutal.
And that's real tough for Calvin Heimburg to swallow. Cody Kirkland battling his way back to even on the round.
Yeah, shows you you've really got to commit to those putts. Letting it hit the cages, although it seems safe right here, still gonna make him roll OB. But nice to see Cody make one of his birdie putts here. He's been struggling on the green a bit, but a nice connection there.
The Trilogy Challenge is back, y'all.
My favorite putter, which is the Retro Orbit Pure.
Mine will be a Tournament Ice Orbit Warship.
And the driver for the Trilogy Challenge is my signature series Fusion Ice Orbit Vandal. Are you ready to hit the course with these 3 discs for the Trilogy Challenge?
I hope you are. If you need more information, then go check out trilogychallenge.com.
Trilogy Challenge 2023. Be there.
Forget about all those who have come before you. There's more than one way to spin a disc. Find your line.
So after a par 3 in hole 12 that saw 51% of the field take a birdie, we moved to hole 13, a much more difficult hole to get the birdie on, especially with the wind today, 438 feet. You can kind of hold it over to the right with this backhand and hope it fights back just a bit, or you can go. It looked like Cody was going roller there for a second, but he does go with the air shot.
He really seems to like slamming over on an overstable disc. The wind direction and intensity was such that it was hard to get your disc to move right enough. And then as we see Rathbun doing, you can't let it won't fight back for you. The wind kind of just knocks down the disc.
Yeah, so with the wind, it looks like it's kind of pushing right to left for these guys. So if they put it out on a hyzer or flat, it's not going to move right at all. But as soon as they turn it over, the wind catches that top flight plate and just keeps it moving right. So with the angle or the line that you're supposed to throw on this hole, this wind's making it almost impossible to do it correctly. I think Isaac might have the best chance, though. He's very good at manipulating his discs. But nonetheless, we see 4 the same.
Round 1, we saw Calvin Heimburg struggle on this green. This time, going to take an easy par.
And after a couple bogeys, I'm sure he would rather have a birdie, but should at least stop the bleeding with that par there. And Cody, our last chance for a birdie. Just 19% of the field, that's 20 players out of 108. Carded the birdie on this one, and we're going to have 4 pretty much drop-in pars here.
And I believe that as the day went on, the wind seemed to pick up. We're going to play with a tailwind here on hole 14, 414 feet. A lot of options. You can throw roller, forehand, backhand. Just need to pick a line through the trees, and then once again, a flat green with not a whole lot around it. With the tailwind, 14 and 15 significantly easier to access than any of the final 3 holes. Kirkland pulls over his shot. I don't know if it has enough speed left to get back, but okay, here it comes.
Yeah, that must have been just what he wanted. Let's go ahead and take a look at that one again.
I see him giving some lean and body language in the end.
Yeah, fights back just in time. Great shot there from Cody. Looks like Gavin's going to try to line up that same line with the forehand.
And just 2 nose up. Gonna die out early to the right side. layup from 120 incoming. Heimburg to an eagle, trying to play the same line but a little more inside, and I think the flight plate got caught by the wind, but into circle one. This is FX4 for Isaac Robinson.
Yeah, just a bit low and 2 turned over for Isaac, but does traverse down the fairway pretty well. About the same amount of birdies on this hole, but quite a few more bogeys. I guess that these trees cause a bit more trouble than hole 13 does, going from 7% birdies to 17% bogeys, bogeys on 13 and 14.
Yeah, I think the gap isn't nearly as straightforward, and with the intensity of the tail and crosswind, it brought the left side trees into play far more than on Friday and Saturday's rounds. So nicely done by Cody.
Yeah, it didn't look like he was quite comfortable with that putt, but he does make it.
And the good work he did in rounds 1 and 2 still being rewarded as he's in a tie for 11th, even at only 1 under for the round. Hanging in there with Calvin Heimburg.
Hole 15, 347-foot par 3, gonna fly where the drone's at with the forehand, maybe a little bit farther left, and then use the hill to skip up towards the basket and check up instead of going onto the ball golf green that's over on the right side. There's also a backhand line that's a bit of a flex, so you're gonna have to skip off of that green that is OB. This is not the line.
Wow. That's a line.
Oh, it is the line. Didn't you hear him?
It is the line, okay. Circle 2.
Yeah, kind of a fortunate miss there for Cody Kirkland. Rathbun playing the flex with a fairway driver, and I really like this.
And so does he. Gonna just check up on that hill ever so nicely. Let's take a look at that one again.
Crank up the parked percentage on U-disc for Gavin Rathbun.
Yep, he's one of just 11% of the field to park this hole today.
And Heimburg going to try to scooch off the green. Does so successfully to the backside. And Robinson looking to get something going, right the ship.
Oh, and he's going to kick left out of bounds pretty immediately. Not an easy up and down from here. And he is not going to park it either. He's moving off to the left side again. He does stay in bounds, but has what looks to be a circle 2 putt for his bogey.
I think that's the danger with taking the right side backhand line. The trees are so early that if you do hit them, it makes the approach much more challenging. But if you're Isaac Robinson, you're not afraid of the putt, and you just jam it anyway.
Okay, sure. I'll go.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a slow stretch going on here. He's working his way all the way back to just 1 under par on the round. But even with that, as you pointed out for Cody, his early work in the first 2 rounds still keeping him inside that top 10 right now.
Yeah, it's right there. Somewhere in there.
After a few tournaments we've had in a row where you have to be pushing double digits every round, I think it's a little bit refreshing to have a course where, you know, 5 or 6 is still putting you in a really good position for the tournament.
And Calvin with a very small opportunity to get to that 5 number, as that birdie right there moves him back to 2 under on the round. But 3 hardest holes coming up, 16, 17, 18.
Hole 16, 846 feet, par 4. There's an initial mandatory and gap. And then in the landing zone is a green, out-of-bounds sidewalk to the right, out-of-bounds pond that you would like to clear on your second shot. Out-of-bounds golf green to the right, and then long left of the disc golf green, more water. So difficult to set yourself up in a position where you can both see the basket and see your line in order to attack for birdie. This backhand line trying to clear the golf green. And that's a frustrating miss for Gavin Rathbun. Just kind of nose up, and then the tailwind stalled it.
Yeah, this has been a tough hole without the higher winds of today. So with the tailwind, you feel like that would help a little bit off of this tee shot. But Gavin not able to get over on it enough. Calvin also heading towards that green, but definitely had enough power on it. Does that put him in a position where he can see the basket?
He may be able to see the basket, but he's going to take a big hyzer over the top. If he was more of a forehand player, he could take a riskier route over water the entire way. Cody Kirkland turning Catch Cam Dave around.
And what a shot that was. And Catch Cam Dave, big shout out to him. The man hit by a grenade and lived to tell the story about it. As we see him have to slightly turn around again with Isaac Robinson's shot. So Gavin, I assume, is going to be pretty aggressive here and try to get over this water onto the other side and possibly give himself a chance for a par.
Yeah, taking a very overstable disc, trying to hit this gap and run to the left. That is going to be just outside circle 2. If I were him, I'd lay it up. Just ensure that you limit the damage to a single bogey. Robinson, this is so well done. Getting himself to circle's edge. And Cody Kirkland, I see him looking into the heavens. But is it wide enough?
And oh man, it is not. Looks like he needed a good 40 more feet off to the right for that one to maintain inbounds. Calvin has pulled this one a little wider and has a dumpier angle on it. He is going to spike down and take him a bit of a roll. Should be in circle 2, maybe 45, 50 feet.
Rathbun smartly laying up. We'll take the bogey. And Heimburg. Nicely done. Gets the rare birdie on hole 16.
Very rare. Just 7 birdies carded on this hole today. Isaac Robinson with the chance for one of his own.
His body language told me he missed that before he missed it. But one, you'd kind of like to get the run off the nubs. Cody Kirkland saves his par.
All right, yeah, he's picked it back up on the putting green. Made all of his putts here in the last 4 or 5 holes, and has got himself under par on the round, back inside that top 15. Brings us to hole 17, the third hardest hole, 737-foot par 4. Again, you're going to have a water carry second shot. You could also play it off to the left with the forehand and skip towards that water. But still got to get yourself in position off of the tee. A bit of a gap to hit. And make sure you drive it forward and then maybe skip up to the left just a bit.
Heimburg
That's real
in
far.
Prime position, yeah. So good at ripping the full power shot a few feet off the ground. Cody Kirkland, also very comfortable with that shape. He told me that's a large part of why he has played well out here in the past, is his comfort throwing the low line distance shot.
This one's a bit more left, but it does catch that hill and check up. He's going to be in a good spot as well.
In previous years, there has been a very generous out-of-bounds line to the left of the second shot and green. This year tightened up considerably. And Rathbun with a pro shank out to the left may be able to attack from there. This looks like 450, 475 though.
Yeah, lots of distance here. We've seen him trust his disc out over the water earlier in the round and not make it back. He's trusted it out over the water again here, but this time does make it back. Gonna give himself an outside chance at running the birdie, but most likely, like we saw on the last hole, will be another pitch up from there.
And Isaac Robinson, really good trust, swings it back in and lands about 20, 25 feet. Kirkland, the other two guys have had to throw baby flex or flat. Kirkland can go pure hyzer here if he desires, but not full commitment. We'll be out there in circle 2 land.
Calvin also going to be able to go that one angle hyzer if he likes. Best way to control distance, but with the wind kind of pushing right to left, it's hard to hang it out wide enough. Calvin's done a little better job, but still going to be right around circle's edge.
This doesn't look like the body language of a pitch up. And Rathbun, a conservative bid, keeps it slow. We'll have a short comebacker for par. Kirkland. And he started to walk it down.
Yeah, he's looked comfortable on the green the last few holes. Thought he had that one, but just a bit low. Let's see what Calvin can do. Hey, there's a birdie from Isaac. A good one to get. Third hardest hole on the course. That jumps him up 4 spots with that one birdie at the moment. Very tight going into the last hole. Oh.
Rathbun able to keep it in there. You see the little smirk as he walks away. And a couple other par cleanups incoming. Still 1 under for the card. Not bad at all on 17. Hole 18, 686 feet, an initial tight gap and mandatory. Out of bounds to the left and hedgerow to the right. You absolutely have to get to this corner in order to attack the green, which is lined on both sides by a pretty narrow out of bounds, and then opening up to about 60, maybe 80 feet at its widest at the green.
Yeah, I'd say getting off the tee cleanly here is the biggest thing. Once you get out to where Isaac is, ideally you'd like to be a bit farther past that last tree. He's going to have a little bit of work to get up and down on the green. But if you can execute this tee shot and get out into the open, then although it is tight, there's not much distance left, and it's pretty straightforward to the pin.
Yeah. From there, Calvin Heimburg going to have something around 290, 300 feet. Robinson, as a backhand-only player, is going to have to throw a more complex turnover shot from about 330. And Cody's body language looks a little unsettled on the tee there. Hits first available, but does stay inbounds. Here's Gavin Rathbun taking the forehand line.
And I like the height that he put on that. We saw some players kind of go with the lower forehand, and it stands up and pushes out farther, putting it high, make sure he comes back. Does end up a bit short, though.
Kirkland to his forehand, swings it out wide, and does catch the corner, but lands out of bounds. Fortunate to get the corner just by a couple feet, and will advance to where he can see the basket. Gavin Rathbun smartly pitching around, leaving himself a layup. Robinson actually was able to get far enough to throw just a straight shot in, and a chance at a birdie finish for Isaac Robinson. Here's Cody Kirkland's fourth.
Yeah, he's able to get up on the green. Going to be in circle 2. Trying to save his bogey to finish. Calvin Heimburg looking to grab another birdie. Move himself farther inside that top 10. He puts himself up there nicely.
And at this time, Calvin Heimburg, the DGPT points leader on the season. Oh, and Rathbun, that's a pretty bad error.
Oh, man.
Now throwing 5 with a jump putt.
Yeah, very unforced there. Not much trouble left. Let's see if Cody can make one last putt here. Yeah, always nice to make your last putt. You don't want it to be for a bogey, but a great showing for him. Going to end up finishing inside the top 20 out here at a Disc Golf Pro Tour Elite Series event.
Absolutely, and only an hour drive to sleep in his own bed tonight. Well done, Cody. Gavin Rathbun, alas, more bogey strokes, but does get the top 10 finish. His best showing on the year thus far.
And Isaac Robinson is going to pick up some clutch birdies to finish his round. The third hardest hole and the second hardest hole. Going to make him, in a tie for third, catch himself a podium spot.
All right, there you have it. A third, a sixth, a 10th, and a 19th. We're proud of all these guys. Really glad to see some excellent golf and some great putting by everybody. Emerson Keith picking up his first Disc Golf Pro Tour victory, though.
Yeah, and Gannon Burr making that push from 5th card, giving some people a lot to think about. Congratulations to Emerson Keith, though, on pulling out his first elite event, as you said, and also his first event with Lone Star Discs. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Gatekeeper Media for our coverage out here at the OTB Open in Stockton, California. For Andrew Fish, I'm Nathan Queen, and we'll see you guys out there.